Hello, hello. Hello, hello. So, I'll quickly introduce you to the School of Environment and Architecture, and I won't take too much of your time because there is a lot of information on the website, and I will tell you why you should be looking at School of Environment and Architecture first, and secondly, if you want to get into architecture, then what is the process of getting into architecture and stuff like that. So we'll do it very quickly in two parts. Um, why should you be thinking of the School of Architecture and Environmental Architecture? Because School of Environmental Architecture has been uh, so the initiators of where is the presentation? Okay. So the first reason why you should consider School of Environmental Architecture is because it's the only school in this country which is completely established and managed and run by architects. It's the only school in this entire country. You will other schools in Maharashtra and in Bombay are run by either politicians or business houses or developers. But this school is run by designers and architects, and who are the initiators and who have found this school? They're established architects. One of them is sitting here, Neera Adarkar, uh, and Rupali Gupte, who's currently the director. Neera Adarkar is the chair of this organization, but also at various corners of the world, maybe at this moment, there is Ravindra Punde, Pankaj Joshi, Arun Kale, Savita Punde, me, Prasad, and Gauri. Gauri is here? No. So if you look at this composition of these people, so they bring in different expertise. Like like in medicine, you have different kinds of expertise. You have people who are cardiologists, people who are neurologists, people who are you know experts in bone and experts in blood, experts in brain, etc., etc., etc. So these are all experts. There is Neera and Rupali and me. We are experts in planning, in city design, in city architecture. Ravindra Punde over here and Savita Punde, they are experts on environmental architecture. They run the largest landscape architecture firm in this country. Pankaj Joshi, Gauri Joshi, they run a conservation practice, heritage conservation. They're also involved in development planning. Arun Kale is an architect, makes museums, makes buildings, housing. So these are basically different experts who have come together in 2013-14. They put this college together. And who is this college? So this is Arvind Adarkar. Arvind Adarkar, for architects, they will know this is a very important name for in the architecture circles as well as in Bombay. He's very important architect and an urbanist and educationist. He headed the Academy of Architecture for several years, and he is the one who put all eight of us together actually. and we lost him in 2014, in 2013, before we started the institution. Uh, so the school actually is an initiative of between 8 of us and a local organization over here. So the owners of this building, this premise, is a local organization. It is owned by the community of 1,200 families around. It is not owned by a developer or a politician, or it is taken care by 1,000 families, 1,200 families around this neighborhood, who run four other schools, two other colleges in this neighborhood. Actually. So we are a community run, architect led institution. So we are a different structure institutional. We are not in a, so they are the so Vidya Prasarak Sangha, and so they are the Vidya Prasarak Sangha. And then the teachers who are involved are, again, they come from various disciplines. And so Rupali, uh, Rupali is over here, she's the director. I, Prasad, Gauri, we are also founders, but we also are teaching in this institution. I've already introduced the three of them. Apurva is an illustrator. She graduated from the University of London. Dipti Baindarkar, you must have also met. She was the first employee. She graduated from University of Bombay in 2012, and then again in 2014 she finished her masters. She was gold medalist in both occasions from University of Bombay, and she's the oldest employee. Dushyant is somewhere here. Dushyant is sitting here. He's from the Shuttle Schools in Germany. He's a computational designer. Milind is here. Milind is here. He's a product designer. Prasad is not here. He's not well. He's a planner, a PhD from Toronto University. He studied at Cornell. Pradnya is here. Pradnya is there. She's from CEPT. She's a technologist. Richa is an archivist. Is there? Richa is also here. So she's also from CEPT. Rohit Muzumdar is a planner. He's an urbanist. Uh, Studied at the School of Planning and Architecture. Very senior uh, urbanist. Shayan, Shayan is there. He studied at the Bauhaus in Germany. Bauhaus is one of the earliest modern schools uh, in France, in Germany, sorry, in Germany, of architecture. Tushar is here. Tushar is in Manipur, studied at Dehradun, and in CEPT Ahmedabad. He taught at Trichy. Then he worked in Bangalore, and then he's now in Bombay with us. He's again a technologist. Vastavikta is not here. Oh, she's there. She's an archivist. She's a illustrator. She's a artist, but also an urban designer. Abhijit is a GIS expert. Kaushik is an artist. Pratik is an engineer, structural engineer. Saurabh is an environmentalist. Maithili is an environmentalist. Tamal is an artist from Shantiniketan. So Kaushik and Tamal both are from Shantiniketan. So this is your faculty. These are here full time. They are here. In no other school in this country, I would say, you'll have so many people in the school. No other school. This is our administrative staff. So what is important in administrative staff are these two people who are prototype. One is a prototype expert, one of prototype maker. He used to run the IIT uh, workshop, and we have a carpenter who teaches. A carpenter, there are no supervisors who teach. The teachers are the people who are actually in the business. These are our advisors. The advisors include Amita Bide from Tata Institute of Social Science, Ajit Ranade, esteemed economist. Kiran Kapadia is another very famous architect. Uday Atwankar is the founder of IDC, Industrial Design Center at the IIT. Madhushri Datta is a filmmaker. Neelkant Chhaya has headed the CEPT University Architecture Department for several years. He's an important architect. Mitra Parekh is a she was a she's a linguist, but she headed the Department of History, Department of English at the SNT University. Sami Padora was a dean at the CEPT University, and Deepak Katawala is an environmental engineer. So these are the advisors. The advisors, these are academic advisors. They come and look at what we do. What am I doing? Okay. So, so why should you be joining? First of all, it's started by architects, run and managed by architects completely. There's no non-architect in this entire ecosystem. Secondly, our faculty, and you can inquire elsewhere also. The faculty is one of the most respected faculty at the moment, and one of the most experienced faculty, and one of the most capable faculty that you have. What we did was, before starting the school and while running the school, we did a elaborate study as to what is missing in architectural education. And what we found was that elsewhere in India, 90% of the schools, 95% of the schools, they taught architecture from a syllabus which was set up at least 70 years ago. So that was where the problem was. That is an old syllabus, never updated, and it was evaluated like that. So when when students went out, they didn't know what to do, and in offices they were kind of they were uh, they were the offices complain. We do a lot of surveys. We do a lot of surveys of what our students are doing, where are our graduates doing. We do a surveys of uh, what is the demand in the offices, etc. And we found out that the syllabus is really outdated, and we need to change certain things. So we changed, and whatever we change, and we change it every year actually, because every year the world changes, and the way of doing architecture changes, and we do a internal audit of our own courses, and we change every year, and every year we produce a document. This one, we produce a document called the pedagogic agendas, which is basically the course book. And the document tells you what are the courses. We do so. In the 5 years we teach 15 courses, so these are the 15 courses that are taught, and how it is adopted from the university syllabus, how are students evaluated, and finally the schedules and organization. Now if you look at the document itself, there is something which you should know. What distinguishes this school from. Okay, what distinguishes the school from other schools? So typically, what happens in every school across India is that you go to the school in the morning. And why are we calling it school? Because architecture schools are called architecture schools. They're not called architecture colleges. Schools, because they're a school of thought, a school of it's a way you grow up. It's not a education alone, but it's about growing up, right? So what happens in every all of the schools is that you go there in the morning, and from 8 o'clock onwards to 9:30 you do one subject. from 9:30 to 10:30 you do another subject, then you take a break, and then you do another subject, another subject. So typically in a day you do 2 or 3 subjects or 4 subjects. At C, we do one subject over 5 weeks, and that subject is not one of those university subjects, but that subject is actually a putting together of many subjects. For example, to make this building, I cannot have somebody to kind of come and teach you how the concrete is poured, or how the floor is done, or how the brickwork is done, or how this planning has to happen, because all of it has to happen together. So we turn that. We don't separate it into, physics, chemistry, biology, but we look at a complete object, the building itself. Suppose if you were to design a house, how is it different from designing a hospital? So it's looking at it completely in its integrated manner. So that holistic integrated thinking is put together into one integrated, manner, and then that is taught to you. And this has been approved by the council, of course, by also by the University of Bombay. And I must say that a lot of institutions are now following this system, and they follow our course book because our course book is actually fairly detailed. So if you look at it, you will see these are the 15 courses: one, two, next semester three, then four, five, six, and each course runs from, for example, currently now today is July 31st. So this is the ninth week. So in this my third semester or second year is doing this module. The third year or the fifth semester is doing this module around, fraternity and architecture, community and infrastructure. Seventh semester is doing a module on housing, mass inhabitation, and ninth semester is doing on urban studies. And they do it together, and with that they are taught mechanics, they are taught they are taught, management of supplies and services, they're taught construction, they're taught a whole lot of things. So experts come into that particular student, so it's not a so they're given a problem and they solve that problem, and while solving the problem they can, because we also feel that there is no one way of doing things. You can do things in multiple ways. For that we push research. So that's an innovation of this institution itself. Of course, if you the course book is available online, and if you see the course book, it details everything. It details all kinds of, uh, it, it details very clearly for each of the module, what we call as course of we call the course as a module. So each course, a 10-week course, what are the objectives, what are the knowledge gain, what are the professional, what are the assignments, how these assignments are connected to the university subject, what are the evaluation criteria, what are the references, and day by day schedule of what happens from 8 to 10:30 and 10:30. This is planned beginning of the year. You won't find it anywhere else. You will not find it. Why is it important? Because then you know that your exam is going to happen on this particular day, so between November 16th and November 20th. On 16, 17, 18, 19. These are your exam days. This is your term break. This is followed actually. This is followed. You will not find in elsewhere. You because the semester stretch, the whole thing kind of, keeps on stretching, and uh, the schedules kind of, go haywire. But this year the things kind of, move uh, as organized. The course book has a lot of details actually. I invite you to actually see the course book online. Okay. If you open the uh, If you open the website of C, it looks something like this. People say it's very confusing. It must be. It's as confusing as human beings, actually. Because why is it confusing? Because it's not architecture is not a straightforward pill that I can give you. You eat and tomorrow morning you're an architect. You can't. It's not a coaching class that I train you for one exam and tomorrow morning you get up and you write that exam and day after tomorrow you've forgotten. Like for example, if I ask you, all of you all did integration and derivatives, right? If I give you a question right now, you'll find it difficult, right? Because you forgot. That's because you don't grow in an ecosystem. You're not growing. So what we are trying to build in the school is not an education coaching class, but it's an ecosystem. And that's why the website looks like this, the way it is. And if you open one of these things, it opens another world. For example, if you open the school, it opens a new world for you. And in the school, there are a whole lot of things that go on. I already spoke of the pedagogy. Every work that gets produced in the school gets archived. Every course gets archived. Within the first week itself, every student is trained to make a website. You keep on storing your work in that website. Your submission happens to that website. You are evaluated to the website. And so it kind of, and that helps us actually. It helps us to kind of, do a lot of, so you can actually see the archive. It's kind of, there are a whole lot of things that are there, and they're batch wise kind of, aggregated. And if you look at it, it's not a website of, it's not a website of, it's not one website. It opens itself into multiple other websites. So it's a whole series of things that kind of, why Hindi? Because we believe also that, you know there are multiple languages people speak. So in this school also we speak multiple languages, and of course we speak all of the language. And the school website also has, you know resources and facilities. There's a whole series of awards and recognition that is there. So the students kind of, are winning all kinds of prizes, and every year there are students who are winning prizes and prizes. The whole list of students uh, that are that are there are students who maintain their own kind of, blogs. They Let's see this. It opens, yeah. So it's a very serious writing by a student on particular course, and all of this, mind you, is public. All of it is public. And we are able to make it public because we are confident that it is serious, rich work. You will not find it in any other school. You'll not find a you'll not find a website which has all the work of all students. There's no school which is confident enough to do that actually. Well, if you enter another door from this website, you enter something called the Center for Spatial Studies, which opens again multiple thousand doors. What I'm trying to say is that each of these things we conduct also. If you enter the third door, which is CCP, we there are many things that happen. We do lectures every fortnight. We invite people from various kind of from the discipline from across the world to come and talk to our students. There are conferences, symposiums, a whole series of things. And then there is C Press, which opens again into another door, and it kind of, it has the C Diaries, which opens up specifically the specific works that are that take place. And if you open one of them, then they will open into another detail of that. And the studio, if you can go to the studio which is archived in a specific manner. And if you go to students' work, then you'll find every individual student's work. And you can open one student's work and you'll see that her work is also there. There's a school that they were doing, and then if you go to the design drawings, then that's her design of a school that she's proposing for some children in a tribal village. So what I'm trying to say is that this website is, yeah, it's large, it's a world by itself, actually, because it's a kind of an ecosystem. And you get a sense of what you can come ahead. You can come ahead if there is space. Yeah. So so this is an ecosystem. So we believe that students have to grow and become human beings first and then architects, and that sensitivity is kind of, you can only grow, like your work is to design space, no, your work is, as an architect, you design space, you don't make buildings, you make space, right? You need to make it comfortable. It's like creating music, right? How do you create a music which comforts you? So you need, it's not easy, it's not easy to become a musician. You have to grow to become a musician. You can't wake up suddenly and say that today I'm going to take one class and I'll become a musician. Your body and your mind is to get trained. So that training of body and mind happens through the courses that we set up and through the ecosystem. And that's why the ecosystem is more important. You are growing in that ecosystem. It's not a coaching class where you go in the morning and leave. So therefore, you'll find the studios are meant and they're open for students 24/7. And the faculty is there from 8 o'clock in the morning to some 8 o'clock in the evening, actually. They're there because they are also working. They're also doing their own work here because this is a workplace. And different kind of spaces come out at different kinds of, hours of the day, actually. They kind of become, they double up. Tomorrow morning, if you come, this becomes a studio, this place, you know, on Monday morning. So it's like a multi, we are, we are, we are in Bombay, so you don't have this elaborate facilities and stuff like that. No other school has. In fact, we are the only school which have a ground, which has an open ground, which is accessible to students. We are the only school which is dedicated completely for one course. So there's only one course that takes this. So there are multiple things. There are 100 reasons why you should be joining. If you are considering C, why should you be considering C very, very seriously? Because as in terms of expertise, in terms of capacity, in terms of our performance, I'll show you. Is there a so so in terms of perform, we are 12 years old now, so we have 6 7 batches which are, so we have 25% of the school students 25% of the students who are studying you know, either outside India or in India in their for doing their postgraduate course. It is very early, but still more than 10% students have started their own practice. Around 45% of the students are working in different offices across the country. Yesterday, somebody had come who was working in Spain, and they're very happy that to find our students, very capable of working anywhere in the world. And there are 20% people who got into different other design fields. So that's why, you know, I'll kind of, close this. We can have a discussion as to about the school. I'll just tell Dipti to take you through the admission process as to what is the admission process and how does it happen. Dipti, you'll kind of, come here.
So give you some information regarding the everyday at sea. So the courses are run from Monday to Friday. Sorry. uh, 8 to 1:30, and from 1:30 onwards till 4:30 we do a lot of other activities with the students, one of which is scheduled on Monday, which is called the C assembly. Now this is the very important section for the school, which we have started since the school started. This is where we discuss the current affairs, because as you know that most of us are not into the practice of reading newspapers, and what is happening around us is what we are not aware of. And being an architect, it is not possible for us to not intervene uh, without this knowledge. So if you want to intervene in the society, you need to know what is happening in your city, in the world, and around you. So this segment becomes very important when all these 200 students, along with the staff and the teaching faculty of the school, come together to discuss what is going around in the world. Uh, on Fridays, there are fortnightly lectures where we invite guest lecturers to the school. And that is where we open up and connect with the practice. We bring experts to the school, and at the same time take the school's work outside to them. So that is an ecosystem which the school is actively working with, where we connect the practice with the school at every all fortnights almost. Uh, the admin office and the library, the workshop is open to the students Monday to Saturday. All the facilities are open 8 to 8. This is the whole premises is dedicated to the architectural school, so there is no other shift or no other course which runs in the school. The students are allowed to be in the studio till 11 o'clock at night. If during the submissions they want to stay overnight, then they need about 10 people, but we have a security provision where there is someone to look after the students if they are staying overnight, and this happens occasionally during the submissions or the jury days. Um, yeah, briefly, this is the schedule which I think Prasad has already uh, explained. There are two semesters in which the courses get divided, and there are two midterm breaks with a term break for Diwali in October. The most like a very important segment which I would want to talk about is the settlement studies. Every year, and each of the course is mandated to take the students out to the field. Uh, each of the year has a specific focus with which we take the students for the settlement studies. The first year we take them to agrarian settlement, to a fishing village where you understand the economy and the build form closely. In the second year we take them for a measure drawing exercise where you understand how the type is developed over the years, the type of the housing or the type of the build form, how it is developed over the years. In the third year, the focus is to take them to an ecological sensitive zone where they understand how ecology, environment works together. So we also believe that uh, most of the learnings, as much as it happens in the studios, it equally happens in the outside context. So you will see a lot of learning, a lot of exercises which are conducted out on the field. By the third year, the students are equipped to design a building. So we conduct courses in an integrated manner where we teach them from design till working drawings. How do you do the estimation and costing of the project? How do you then build in uh, the entire material ecosystem for that project, and how do you actually build that project on the field. So these are some of the images where we take the students to the architectural offices. There's a dialogue which is established with the practice, where we understand how practices work. It becomes very important. In the third year, fourth year, and fifth year, we have something called as the choice courses or specialization courses, where we also give the students one more opportunity of doing an additional internship. So there is one internship which is in the eighth semester, which is mandated as per the syllabus. But in the third, fourth, and fifth year, we provide another 1 month of a duration to the students where they can go and work with a specialization of their choice, and then they get credits for it. This opens up a possibility that over 5 years they get exposed to different subjects which are possible for them to opt for. So it also gives you a clarity of what you are inclined towards. So as you approach towards your graduation, you would find what is the niche or what is the interest which you want to further cultivate and take up your master's courses uh, for. Yeah, these are some of the images for the settlement studies. These are additional activities which the student council anchors. So there are a lot of sports activities. We are the only school with the ground. So the students post those college hours because we have 50% of students who are not from Mumbai. So that this becomes a second home for them where they can spend time beyond college hours, be here, make this as their home ground, play games. The cultural activities are brought to the school. So as much as we take them onto slow wanderings into the city, which are organized by the faculty and the student council together, there are special events which are organized for the students within the school as well. There is also two more things which I would like to focus on is how we build the uh, culture of student, or how do we make a student an individual and a sensitive individual by the end of 5 years. We really believe that as much as they are learning skills with us, it is important that they learn an attitude towards learning, an attitude towards organization. So all the field trips across all the years are completely organized by the students, and they are handheld by the faculty. So you learn an organization skill. If you to organize a meal for 200 people, now this is a sea feast which happens every year where each batch cooks or organizes a feast for all 200 students. Now, how do you make sure that you cater to various varied choices? How do you make sure that when you're going on a study trip, all the organizations for stay, travel are done? Now, these are everyday learnings, but they are important for architect to know, or as an individual to know, because they need to have their opinions. They should be able to organize their life and their practice as they graduate from the school. Um, for the admissions, yeah, I'm going to come to the admissions. We have 40 seats. All the 40 seats are surrendered to the government. So the entire admission process will happen through the cap rounds. At the end of the cap rounds, if there are vacant seats, then we will, at the institute level, these vacant seats will be filled up. So as you have registered for the cap rounds already, and today I think by 5 o'clock there was a declaration of the provisional merit list which was coming up, but it should come by midnight because that is the time duration which they work with. But we will know the number of applicants by today, uh, and the final list is expected to come out on 5th of August. So once the cap rounds initiate, we will also begin the vacancy round process. And during the vacancy round process, we will host a form for the vacancy rounds on our website. So as much as you try to get through the school through the cap rounds, if that is not happening, you always have a window till 18th of September, which is as per the current schedule, where you can shift schools if you want to get an admission in a desired school. So if you do not get allotted your desired school in the first 3, 4 cap rounds, then you also have a possibility of taking in an admission through through the vacancy rounds at the school. Yeah, this is the general fee structure. Now, with this fee structure, I would also like to point out to the scholarships which we scholarships and the support which we provide to the school. So we do understand that with the fees which are completely approved by the government, there will be students who come from difficult backgrounds who may not be able to afford those fees. But at C till date for last 12 years, we have made sure that there's no student whose education is stopped because of the financial constraints. So if there are any concerns from the second year onwards, and also on during the first year admissions, we talk to the students, understand their concerns, and try and organize for support scholarships for them. There is a board of donors whom we can request. So every year, the Society for Environment and Architecture gives a call for financial aid and tries to get as much as fee support for the students who really are finding it difficult to um, pay the fees and continue their education. There is a full-time counselor with us on board. There's a panel of counselors where they try and organize workshops for the students. But at the same time, we understand that current generation, there is a current times rather, not generation, but during current times, there are a lot of stresses which we deal with. And I think it is important for us to have a balanced support ecosystem. So there is a faculty peer support system, there is a student peer support system, there is a student council support system which is established at the school. So in case of any of the difficulties, the students um, are free to approach any of these support systems to um, have a resolution for their concerns. We also are for last 12 years maintaining the intake of 40 because we believe that it is important to have a one-on-one connect with the students. With a strength of almost 25 faculty members in the school, including the visiting faculty members, it is important, and it we can now say that we know what happens in each student's life. And that is important because when the student comes in out of their own comfort zone, if they are not from Mumbai and staying away, then it is important for them to feel that comfort with us here. So yeah, these are all the support systems which we um, give to the students. This is the list of scholarships, list of government scholarships which we can apply. So when you come for admissions, we will give you a detailed orientation depending upon the category of admission. How do you apply to these schemes? And these are the additional financial support which the Society for Environment and Architecture provides to their students. Now, this is again the support is divided into one is fees, but there is also an extended support towards non-fees, which may mean that if you are not able to kind of get in a laptop, or if you're not been, if there is a uh, not like if you're not able to pay for the material or the study trip, so all of these support mechanisms are active in the school. I think the student council plays a bigger role also in the admissions because we have been actively creating an entire ecosystem in order to make the students uh, ease out the process of finding a residence here. So the student council every year puts in a list of brokers. They collect together entire list of mess or say the food ecosystem which is around here, and this is where they handhold during the admission process. All the students who are coming from outstation, they help them settle here, uh, find a house. So what we also do is when we have the admission process going on, we will put you in touch with other students who are looking for a house here. So you could group together and rent. Being a residential space, it is very safe, and it is a lot of rental flats are available around here. So students group together and then start staying together. They rent a space together. That also kind of brings together a ecosystem of comfort because they are staying with their own classmates. Yeah, I think these are the cutoffs. These are what we like. These are the very frequently asked questions about what was the cutoff last year. But I should tell you that whatever was the cutoff last year, whatever will be the cutoff this year, I think in this school or in any other school, please do try for the vacancy round as well. Because right now the number of seats are very high in Mumbai, and you should get in whichever school you desire your admissions. It will be very uh, seems to be very easy for now to get in. So do not worry about the numbers here, because we also know that this year uh, the NATA scores or the HSC scores have been a little on a lower margin than the earlier years. But do not worry, because that will get calibrated when the merit list comes up. Yeah, this is the choice code for School of Environment and Architecture, and we'll open up for questions. But we would really like to see you during the admissions year. Um, Thank you. Is there any question? So every semester, there is the exam. At the end of the semester, there will be theory papers, and then there are vivas, which happen at the end of each of the courses. But more importantly, I think at C, what we believe is the progressive learning. So there will be intermediate assignments, which are much more critical than the final defense of your project. Of course, you learn to kind of give that final defense, but most of the learning, so it is nothing, it's not like, 12 standard exam or a 10 standard exam where you learn at the end of it and you'll be able to write the paper. It is a continuous learning process. At C, the exams are also design oriented, because I think that application is what we need to learn as students, as architects. So you will go through the exam system, which is much more like a progressive assessment system rather than an end of the term assessment system. Uh, in addition to that, the third year is the university exam, and the final year is an university exam where you appear to with a central system where there are 25 or 36 schools around Mumbai where you will appear for your exam. So that's like a center-based thing. But that happens in the third year and in the final year. Final year is your final design dissertation. So that's like a viva voice. There's no written exam in the final year. Yeah. Yeah. So as per University of Mumbai, all the semester exams are conducted by the school except the sixth semester and the 10th semester. They are conducted by the school on behalf of the University of Mumbai. So you have different centers for that? No, the different centers is only in the third year, sixth semester. That is for the written paper. All the other exams are conducted in the school campus itself. Even the third year Viva Voice exams happen in the school. So it's only for the written paper, which are about four of them. For that, you need to kind of go to a different center in the third year. Yes, there are external panels from outside which come. Yes, all over India. So we always make sure that there are practicing architects who come and review the work. So we try and connect with the offices. So you would see a lot of offices passing through conducting the courses here. So the choice courses are essentially also conducted by the offices. So as much as we send the students for the internship outside, we try and make bring in the offices to the school to bridge that gap for the students. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So ma'am, as you told that apart from cap round, if student want to take admission in this campus, so when will the form will release by?
So we will start that on the first day of the first cap round.
Okay, okay. So on the
We have to wait till the one is that the schedule gets finalized, but as per the current date, on the first day of the cap round, we will release
okay,
that.
so it's accessible basically on the website. We
Yes,
can decide it.
yes.
Thank you.
So if I think all of you must have filled up the admission interest form,
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes.
so you will get regular updates. So as and when the form is floated on the website, we will send you an email.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So there are now two sets of internships. One is the eighth semester internship, which is mandated by the university and the Council of Architecture, which happens in the fourth year, eighth semester, which is a 6 month long internship. At the school, as we are adapting the syllabus, we have also uh, carved out third, fourth, and fifth year 1 month, 2 month long internship in the month of June. So there are students who also start from May and then continue till the end of the June. These are choice-based internships. So if, for example, if you get only one opportunity in the eighth semester to work with an office, which is at a longer place. But if you want to work with an interior design practice, but at the same time, the next year you want to maybe try a landscape firm and try and work there. Because one, we have to understand that architecture is a profession which is very multidisciplinary. So there are a lot of specializations possible where people can make choices and their interest also changes over a period of time. So these 5 years become like the incubation period where you can try your hand at different practices, see what your interest is, and then you develop it as you graduate ahead, and maybe then take that subject as your master's course or specialization ahead. Yeah. So we believe in hand-holding them. As of now, none of our students have faced any problem in getting an internship or even a placement at their desired offices. So as much as we believe that the offices choose their employees, we also believe that the students should have a choice to work with where their interest lies. And that's why there is an entire ecosystem where at the start of the seventh semester, where they are starting to apply for their eighth semester, in smaller groups, we start talking to the students. We have an ecosystem of firms where they contact us to say that recommend students to their firm. So all of that, it is done in smaller groups. It's not like a placement cell, but we believe that when the student approaches us, we figure out a right office or an ecosystem and give recommendations to the students to go and approach those offices. But they have been doing it. We train them to, by that time to apply on their own and to seek their positions on their own. So, yeah. Yes. So I think we will go back to that page. Um, Right now, they are not there, but they are. three students who are our alumni who are right now also co-teaching with us. They have their own established practice. They've been taking part in competitions. So if you see, almost 11% of the students who have graduated from the school have started their own practice. Uh, as much as that, you will also see that there are almost 25% students who have started their post graduation, and they are not only in India but also outside India. And the list of the universities where they have been doing their post graduation. So yeah. So at the school, we have been, so like Prasad said, that every year in the month of March, April, the entire faculty team actually sits together to review all the courses which are taught in the year are reviewed by the students, by the faculty, by an internal peer and an external peer. And every year, the syllabus, the way the courses are taught, the way the methods are implemented in the course are updated. So we have been very structurally getting in AI as a part of the learning tools. We are equipping the students to also learn with AI, because one is that with AI, with internet, there is a lot of information which is available. But how do you use that information becomes more important. How do you discern that information? What is it that you can use? How can you use it? How does it not become a copy paste exercise, but very responsible use of AI is what we have been slowly integrating in the teaching of all the courses across. So all your studio courses, all your theory courses, all of them are constantly asking the students to take up AI at different stages and seeing how practice and technology has been also changing over time and how that can be integrated in the studio. There is a, in the timetable, there are two slots of choice courses. There is one which is the larger choice course, which is again your specialization of landscape, product design, interior design, urban design, and computational design. With that, there is a smaller choice course, which is a 2 week elective course. So we get external experts in order there it becomes much more multidisciplinary, where we get students to work with AI experts, with VR experts, so virtual reality. So we bring in different experts depending upon what that year curriculum is uh, designed for. You want to add? Are there any questions on YouTube? Yeah.
A lot of this has been told to you already, but I just want to stress on the fact that this is actually one of the most innovative curriculum. And this is group of architects who have come together. The teaching cohort that is here has really made a lot of efforts to make this relevant for today's time. So this is one of the most critically rethought curriculums, and now lot of colleges in the country are looking to us. So we are also going to other places to do faculty development programs and other things. So I think this is just, I wanted to emphasize that it's really important for, and one of the things that you also mentioned right now is that we're also constantly, we're not saying that this is done now. We're also saying that the world is changing very rapidly. And so how does the school train students to take on this new world? you know how do you make students into leaders for the future? And so, how do you also develop critical thinking is something that is extremely important because, coming back to AI, the idea is that you use AI as infrastructure. You don't let it take over, right? So, that is something that we're also emphasizing. How do you build, how do you teach students to think for themselves? Yeah, so I think just to kind of point out this is, I think, was really important. Later also you're free. You have our numbers. We have shared the emails and numbers, so you're free to come back to us anytime.
There are there's an student representative here who would also take you around the school and show you the school if you haven't yet visited it. I think some of you have already come here prior and seen the school, but Yuvraj will take you around and show you the facilities at the school.